13859, no one on the suspect. 14856, clear. 14828, roger, all units, code 4.
14-hour copy. There's a male screaming help, saying someone stabbed me. He is not giving a 20. This is a cell phone site location. Advise he's bleeding out. Medics are around code 3. Units back.
1756.
365 Main, across the Folsom and Harrison. However, that's a cell phone site. We're still waiting for an exact 20. He is outside on the street.
At around 2:30 a.m. on April 4, 2023, a distressing call reporting a stabbing incident disrupted the streets of San Francisco's Rincon Hill neighborhood. Rushing to the 300 block of Main Street, police found Robert Lee, a 43-year-old tech executive, lying on the ground with apparent stab wounds. First responders and medical personnel did everything they could to save him, but their efforts were in vain, and Lee tragically succumbed to his injuries. The news of his death spread like wildfire, causing shock and sadness not only in San Francisco but across the nation. The question on everyone's lips was, who killed Bob Lee? Was it a random attack or was someone out to get him? Join us as we dive into the disturbing case of the murder of tech innovator Bob Lee. San Francisco, a bustling and vibrant city known for its multiculturalism, breathtaking architecture, and innovative technology scene, has been the hub of major tech companies such as Google, Facebook, and Twitter. The city attracts entrepreneurs, artists, and creatives from all over the world, making it the 13th largest city in the United States. Bob Lee, a former tech executive, was a resident of the San Francisco Bay Area, but relocated to Miami in October 2022. Lee returned to San Francisco briefly in April 2023 to attend a tech conference. The incident in question occurred in the Rincon Hill neighborhood, a densely populated mix of offices and modern condo buildings. It did not take long for the 43-year-old Bob Lee to become a prominent figure in the tech industry. While working for Google as a software engineer, he wrote large parts of the Android operating system. Since then, Bob has made a name for himself as Square's former chief technology officer. In addition, he was a key player in developing the Cash App mobile payment service. Most recently, he served as the chief product officer for MobileCoin, a cryptocurrency company. Bob bought a 4-bedroom residence in 2018 for $2.6 million, where he lived with his family. He later sold the house for $4.4 million in July 2022 before moving to Miami in October of the same year. Although Bob and his wife Krista were no longer together, they maintained a strong connection. In fact, both relocated to Florida to be near their 2 children. Dino Elyasnia and his wife Kazar are members of the social elite. They have become known as a wealthy and glamorous couple in San Francisco, and their high-profile lifestyle has garnered attention in the media. Dino is an accomplished plastic surgeon who has become well known in the Bay Area for his skillful work and high-profile clientele. He was born to an Assyrian and Armenian family in Iran and fled to the United States during the Iranian Revolution. Dino has been practicing medicine in the Bay Area for over 10 years and has built a reputation as one of the most skilled, board-certified plastic surgeons in San Francisco. In addition to his impressive medical career, Dino has gained attention for his glamorous lifestyle with his wife Kazar. Kazar is also an Iranian immigrant who came to the United States as a child. The couple resides in the luxurious Millennium Tower in San Francisco, where units can run in the millions of dollars, and they enjoy breathtaking views of the city. Despite keeping a lower profile than her husband, Kazar has been lauded for her compassion and generosity towards others. In a 2020 interview with Oat Living, Dino couldn't help but praise his wife as one of a kind, passionate, brave, and intelligent, who is always looking for ways to help others, whether it's packing bags for the homeless or shopping for gifts for underprivileged families. The Elyasnias and Bob Lee crossed paths within affluent social circles at least 3 years before the incident. This story begins in the mid-afternoon of April 3rd, 2023. Recently released court records reveal that Bob, his close friend, a resident, and Kazar had gathered in an apartment and had been drinking since at least 3:30 p.m. At some point in the evening, Bob decided to return to his hotel room and invited Kazar to leave with him, but she declined. Bob and his close friend then left the apartment. Several hours later, at around 12:30 a.m., Bob left the hotel with his friend. According to the court documents, he visited Kazar's condo at the Millennium Tower alone, arriving at 12:39 a.m. Then, at around 2:35 a.m., a 911 call was made in which the caller screamed, "Help, someone stabbed me."
14-hour copy. There's a male screaming help, saying someone stabbed me. He is not giving a 20. This is a cell phone site location. Advise he's bleeding out. Medics from Route Code 3. He's back. 1756. 365 Main, cross of Folsom and Harrison. However, that's a cell phone site. We're still waiting for an exact 20. He is outside on the street.
According to a statement by the San Francisco Police Department, officers responded to a call at 365 Main Street regarding a stabbing. Upon arrival, they found Bob Lee lying in the street and unresponsive. He was bleeding profusely from apparent stab wounds to his chest and hip. Officers rendered aid and summoned medics to the scene before Bob was rushed to San Francisco General Hospital. He was later pronounced dead. The national news outlets picked up the story of Bob's death, raising questions about whether it was a random act of street violence or if there was a deeper, more complicated motive behind it. Authorities immediately began a comprehensive investigation that involved canvassing the local area, scrutinizing many hours of surveillance footage, determining the cause and time of death, locating and interviewing witnesses, reconstructing Bob Lee's final hours or days, and identifying and locating suspects. It was an exhaustive effort aimed at establishing the facts of the case and bringing the perpetrators to justice. Detectives interviewed Bob's close friend, who has known him for 10 years and was with him before Bob visited Kazar's residence. The friend confirmed to police that at 3:30 p.m. on April 3rd, Bob invited him to an apartment where Bob, the apartment's resident, and Kazar had been drinking. At some point, Bob and his friend decided to return to Bob's hotel. They had invited Kazar to go with them, but she declined. While at the hotel, he observed Bob allegedly having an argument with Nima Momeni, Kazar's older brother. Nima was aware that they had spent part of the day together and asked Bob whether his sister was doing drugs or anything else inappropriate. Bob's friend told police Nima had to be reassured nothing improper was going on. When asked by police whether Bob and Kazar were having an intimate relationship, Bob's friend claimed he didn't know, but that her marriage seemed to be on shaky grounds. Court records show that police obtained surveillance video from the Millennium high-rise. Footage shows Bob entering Kazar's building at 12:39 a.m., but he found Nima also there. According to the charging document, building camera footage shows Bob and Nima entering an elevator and then Nima's white BMW at around 2:03 a.m. They were the only occupants in the vehicle. The video shows the BMW drive to a dark and secluded area. Both subjects exited the car and stood on the sidewalk for approximately 5 minutes. Nima then made a sudden move toward Bob before returning to the BMW and leaving at a high rate of speed. In surveillance footage, Bob can be seen struggling to stay on his feet as he seeks help nearby. Bob called 911 from his cell phone before collapsing at the Portside Apartments. An autopsy was conducted by Dr. Ellen Moffat, who stated Bob had been stabbed 3 separate times, once at the hip and twice in the chest. One of the chest wounds penetrated his heart, causing his death. Court documents indicate authorities found a text message on Lee's phone that was sent from Kazar's phone shortly after the stabbing. It read, "Just wanted to make sure you're doing okay, because I know Nima came way down hard on you, and thank you for being such a classy man, handling it with class. Love you, selfish pricks." On April 11th, police discovered blood spatter on both sides of the sidewalk on the 400 block of Main Street and found a silver and black kitchen knife with a 4-inch blade, suspected to be the murder weapon, in a nearby parking lot. This crucial piece of evidence brought the investigation into the murder of Bob Lee closer to resolution. With the pressure mounting and the nation watching, San Francisco Police Chief Bill Scott, alongside the mayor of the city, London Breed, and District Attorney Brooke Jenkins, held a press conference on Thursday, April 13th. Media members stood by to learn about the latest developments in the case.
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning, everybody. First of all, I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Mr. Robert Lee, known as Bob Lee. I'm going to be brief on the details, but here's a summary and the update. On April 4th, 2023, at approximately 2:30 a.m., San Francisco police officers from Southern Station responded to 300 blocks of Main Street for a report of a stabbing. Officers arrived on scene and located the victim, later identified as 43-year-old Robert Lee, suffering from an apparent stab wound. Officers rendered aid and summoned medics to the scene. Mr. Lee was transported to Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital with life-threatening injuries. Despite efforts by first responders and medical personnel, Mr. Lee died from his injuries. The San Francisco Police Department Homicide Detail responded and took over the investigation. The homicide investigators developed information that identified the suspect as 38-year-old Nima Momeni of Emeryville, California. We can confirm that Mr. Lee and Mrs. Momeni knew each other. However, we will not be able to provide further details at this time regarding the evidence that confirms that information. This morning, members of the San Francisco Police Department's Investigations Bureau and Tactical Unit served several search warrants and an arrest warrant in San Francisco and Emeryville, California. Mr. Momeni was taken into custody without incident in Emeryville, California. He was transported to the San Francisco County Jail and booked on one charge of murder, California Penal Code Section 187A. I'd like to remind everybody that this is still an open and ongoing investigation, and we will not be able to provide further details at this point. Before I turn this over to our district attorney, I want to assure everyone that our investigators have been working tirelessly to make this arrest and bring this case to justice for the Lee family and himself, just as we would for every homicide that occurs. But this is an ongoing investigation. We still have work to do, and our job is to provide the best evidence possible to this district attorney and her team so we can bring this case and any other homicide or crime in the city to justice. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to our district attorney.
One second, can you confirm if this is the suspect?
We'll take questions after.
Okay.
So as you're aware, I'm Brooke Jenkins, the district attorney here in San Francisco, and I want to thank you first of all for being here. I also want to start off by first acknowledging the pain and anguish that Mr. Lee's family and friends are currently experiencing. There is nothing worse than a parent having to bury their child, or a young child having to bury their parents. My prayers go out to them during this very difficult time. I too want to commend the San Francisco Police Department for their work in identifying who committed this heinous crime. They worked around the clock to solve this case. While in some cases we do immediately have a suspect, that was not the situation here. As a result of their hard work, Mr. Lee's killer has been identified, arrested, and now will be brought to justice. As a former prosecutor in our homicide unit, I've personally worked on cases with the detectives that solved this case. They are dedicated to justice and have further demonstrated their commitment to ensuring that San Franciscans do get justice when something like this happens. I am here today to formally announce the charges against Mr. Nima Momeni for the murder of Bob Lee. The specific charges that we are filing today include murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187, as well as a special allegation, also known as an enhancement, alleging that this murder was committed with a knife. As for next steps, as I know you all are eager to follow this case, Mr. Momeni is expected to be arraigned in Department 10 of the Hall of Justice tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 p.m. My office will be filing a motion to detain Mr. Momeni without bail to ensure that he remains in custody during the pendency of this case due to the obvious and severe public safety risks that we believe he poses to the public. I want to end by saying thank you to Mr. Lee's family and the people of San Francisco for being patient with law enforcement during the course of this investigation. I know that everyone has wanted answers since this tragedy happened. While nothing can heal the pain of Mr. Lee's loss, thank you for putting your trust in the San Francisco Police Department and now in my office to ensure that we seek justice in this case.
Nima Momeni has been charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of use of a deadly or dangerous weapon in the commission of a felony. Investigators suspect that Momeni's motive for killing Bob Lee was related to his sister, Kazar El-Yasnia, and her potential involvement with Bob. At roughly 5 a.m. on April 13th, Nima Momeni was taken into custody at his Emeryville residence. According to his LinkedIn profile, Momeni has worked in the Bay Area tech industry for over 13 years, providing IT consultancy services and as a network engineer. He described himself as a dedicated technology partner since 2005, and his company, Expand IT, has been operating for over a decade. Regarding his criminal background, it appears Nima was involved in an incident less than 1 year ago. According to an article published by Cron 4 News on April 24th and reported by Amy Larson, Nima was accused of assault on August 1st, 2022. The incident was reported to the Emeryville Police Department by a woman who claimed that she was attacked by Nima inside his Emeryville apartment. When police officers arrived, the woman explained that she and Nima had met 1 week earlier. He agreed to let her stay there in exchange for performing housekeeping duties. She denied any romantic involvement. She alleged that Nima forcefully grabbed her arm and waist, pushing her against the counter. Another roommate confirmed that the woman had been allowed to stay on the couch but failed to fulfill her responsibilities, leading to Nima's decision to ask her to leave. The roommate said that they had heard the argument but did not witness any physical altercation. The police cited Nima, and the case was referred to the Alameda County District Attorney's Office. Ultimately, however, no charges were filed. Nima appeared in court on the murder charge on April 16th, but did not enter a plea, and he remains in jail without bond. Dino and Kazar appeared at the hearing to show support and offered no comments to the press.
Right now, thank you very much.
Would you have a comment after the arraignment?
At a hearing on April 25th, the judge agreed to push back the arraignment until the following week as Nima's attorney claimed she had not received all the evidence in the case to review. According to an article published on April 24, 2023 by the San Francisco Standard, stunning revelations rocked the San Francisco community and added a layer of intrigue to the case. The article claims that a source familiar with the case revealed Bob and Kazar visited the apartment of a suspected drug dealer just hours before his death. The article further states the apartment Bob and Kazar visited belongs to a man convicted last year for possessing a controlled substance with the intent to sell. Court documents revealed that during 2 police raids, authorities discovered several party drugs including GBL, nitrous oxide, MDMA, and LSD. Prosecutors have described the apartment's resident as heavily involved in drug trafficking. Paula Canny, the defense attorney for Nima Momeni, stated, "We are actively investigating the background of the conduct of all the parties for the 3 or 4 days before the incident. A common theme that I'm seeing is heavy illegal narcotics use. The article further states that according to Khazar's friend Samira Kuzovic, Khazar may have had a concerning frequency of drug use. This alleged drug use reportedly raised concerns among her brother and caused strains in her relationships with friends. Samira added that despite dabbling in the party drug scene himself, Nima tried to safeguard his sister from potential issues related to drug use. She explained, "He was always playing big brother, always looking after her." Tarani Ipakji, who was close friends with Bob and knew Khazar, said she believes they met around 2020. Their relationship appears to have been romantic, she said. When Ipakji warned Bob that Khazar was married, she claims Bob said, "It doesn't seem like it matters to her because she's flirting with me." Ipakji also said Bob liked to party. He liked to, unfortunately, do a lot of drugs, but he was the sweetest guy ever. He always had this light around him, she said. Bob Lee's father, Rick Lee, shared similar sentiments. In a Facebook post, Rick stated, "I just lost my best friend, my son Bob Lee, when he lost his life on the street in San Francisco. I moved to Mill Valley, California with Bob after his mother died in 2019, and we recently relocated to Miami in October 2022. Life has been an adventure with two bachelors living together, and I'm so happy that we were able to become so close these last years. Bob would give you the shirt off his back. He would never look down on anyone and adhered to a strict no-judgment philosophy. Bobby worked harder than anyone and was the smartest person I've ever known. He will be missed by all those that knew him. Thank you to those who have reached out in support," he said. The case of Bob Lee has unfolded as a complex and captivating story, intertwining elements of wealth, relationships, and potential motivations behind his tragic death. As the evidence continues to be gathered and analyzed, the pursuit of justice for Bob remains a top priority. The public, along with Bob's family and friends, eagerly await answers and closure, hoping that the whole truth will be revealed and all responsible parties held accountable.